Pepper. All right. Cat. Spot. A little scratch scratch time in because gotta get this show on the road. Hey everybody, welcome. It's Houston with a problem. Houston After Dark. Well, welcome. It's Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday today. Just trying to figure out where I am, when I am. I did a space call with Drew Diligence, aka Free Commercials, on Twitter today. It's very lovely. I'll have the recording for that up on the YouTube channel as soon as this thing is done rendering. I don't know how long it's going to take. Basically, add the sound, adding a picture, and I can't remember how to use DaVinci Resolve because I haven't actually edited a video in 2 years. So, whatever. I'll have it up when it's up. You'll be able to listen to the interview. It's much more biographical. He's asking me questions about life, my life in particular. So we'll have that on there, and it'll be great. Well, yeah, banks continue to free fall. PacWest said they're looking for a buyer. Metropolitan Bank seems screwed. All the other original banks are also in terrible conditions. This is not just bad, but like really, really bad. It is a problem that is endemic to a system that has failed. Now, a bank going out here and there, cool. But when the banks are all too big to fail, the major banks, and they can't get in trouble, but all of your regional banks start to collapse and they start getting consumed by these larger banks, then everything becomes too big to fail and competition vanishes. So, I mean, the solution is obvious, which is break up the big banks, but they're not going to do that. We are going to have an oligarchy of banks, a cartel essentially, and they're going to control everything we do. That being said, it does look like there's some chinks in the armor of the SPY, and that we maybe have broken the seal, and we are in a bear market. Finally, the market's picking up to the terrible news, and I honestly don't know what the plunge protection team is going to do. Are they going to just keep pulling money out of thin air, buying up securities and going, or with the 25 basis point raise, they say it might be, this will be the last one, but I mean, if that's the case, then you got to let everything fall after this and let it hit hard for a while to defeat inflation. You can't just be like, oh, it's dipping again, and then all of a sudden start slashing rates. You have to let it sit for a while and really let it stew. And it's going to be awful for everybody. So, on that note, hey! All right, I'm going to turn everything off. Got that off. Got that off. Everything's off. No distractions by the cat or dog. So, what's you got for me? It's late. I have a very large crowd. I was hoping to start by 9:30, but my roast wasn't done yet. So I had to eat at 9:30 and screwed everything up. But yeah, G-Phone, AHW, happy birthday. I'm going to buy a bunch of USB or UBS puts for beginning of July. We should expect a massive contraction in liquidity end of the quarter as repo funding dries up. Probably. And not only did the repo funding dry up, but what could be taken in repo and margin has significantly dried up with the haircut that was done. Essentially, you have to hold blue chip stocks, and that's it. That or treasury bonds. And at the end of the month, will treasury bonds be worth anything? Probably not. Because I don't see any signs that they're going to be raising the debt ceiling. We'll start hearing alarms in like 2 weeks. They'll really be screaming about it. But will the House vote to raise the debt ceiling? the house is controlled by some real wackadoodles right now, and they might be crazy enough to play chicken with fate. So, well, I guess we'll wait and see, right? Still got a roof over my head, still have food to eat, so at least I got that going for me. Lost Waves. A lot of time has passed. Did you watch Pick a Destiny? No, I have not watched Pick a Destiny. Okay. Bex, Houston, happy birthday. Where did the mean lawn hurt you? Ever consider riding a lawnmower? Everybody, I have a riding lawnmower. It's broken. It is broken. And I, instead of getting it fixed, I spend my money on the GME. So, that's why I'm pushing that crappy electric mower around and it's kicking my ass. I mean, it was 5 hours today just to get the backyard mowed. And I still have like 3.5 more yards to go. So hopefully Monday, my roommate's fiance took pity on me. He's a mechanic and he's like, maybe Monday evening we'll tear apart that lawnmower, see what's wrong with it. I'm like, oh, my hero. I mean, I've done what things I can do and I cannot figure it out. I tore apart the carburetor, I cleaned out the carburetor, clear out the fuel filter, check the fuel pump. It gets a spark. I don't know why it's choking itself out, but it is. And it takes 45 minutes to mow that yard with the riding lawnmower. It takes, well, when the lawn isn't that high, it takes about 7 hours to mow. Right now, I'm guessing probably 15 to 20 to get the first mow of the year in. Just eating my life, man. Yanni, it's all coming down, boys. Bex, also thank you for saving me from trying to watch Citadel. I gave it 10 minutes. Yeah, no. Watch The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent instead. Highly recommend. I've heard excellent things about The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I should probably watch that. Yeah, Citadel was just... I mean, Citadel, the company, is terrible. Citadel, the TV show on Netflix, is so bad. It is so bad. It is just the worst cliched crap wrapped up in... the style of direction is I'm in love with myself. And that's just, it was just so insipid. And it had Stanley Tucci in it and I was so excited. And then it was just so bad. Don't watch. BOFH. Foots and Spy took a big dump after hours. Love to see it. My puts will print tomorrow, assuming we don't rebound in pre-market. That's always the problem, is that, you know, the Federal Reserve goes, let's buy a bunch of securities. And then all of a sudden, your puts don't pay out. And it just sucks. Just let it die. Let everything die. Die, 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 die. Yanni, I haven't watched TV in 20 years. Well, you're missing out on a bunch of brain-dead television there, Yanni. Chris Collins, Feliz cumpleaños. Brendan T. Houston. Here's a fun take up in Canada. Service Credit Union commercial says we guarantee your deposits as opposed to what? Credit unions in Canada, the deposits are guaranteed to an unlimited amount. Commercial banks are guaranteed to $100,000, but credit unions, the sky's the limit. You can put $1 billion into a credit union in Canada. That bank could go under, and the federal and the Canadian government has guaranteed that $1 billion deposit. So, Canadians, Bex, Brandon T, anyone else who's Canadian, G-Font, put your money into a credit union when you got piles of it because you're guaranteed all the way. And that's I only learned that recently on my trip to Whistler back in March. When I was driving back from Whistler, it was about the time that SVB had collapsed. And they were talking about this security of banks in Canada, and the banking expert on the CBC I was listening to is like, yeah, if you have money in a commercial bank, $100,000. If you have money in a credit union, infinite. So all the money you can put in there is guaranteed, is insured. Our plant, Houston, how many COVID clot shots have you received? 4? 5? 4? I don't know. But if you got COVID while being unvaccinated, you're more likely to have clots than anyone else. Guitar Stuff, happy birthday, Houston. Ryan Jason, happy birthday, Houston. Bex, happy Star Wars Day, at least in this time zone. I got 2 more hours till May the 4th be with you. Yanni Houston, did you play the character Houston in Payday? I don't know what Payday is. Is it? Well, you said you didn't watch TV, so movie? BOH. Can't wait for the market to finally realize it ran off the cliff ages ago. Like Wile E. Coyote, looking down and only then falling into the river below. It's going to be big. We have quite the credit crunch on our hands. I honestly don't know how it's been chugging at the moment. I've mentioned this before. Like, I just don't see. I don't see how is anything getting done? Stuff is too expensive. Interest rates are too high. Pay's not really increasing for everybody. We got strikes and layoffs and all sorts of stuff. Like, what's been keeping this whole thing afloat the entire time? I just don't get it. I don't. It escapes me, and I can't see why. My arm keeps popping in there. It's really bothering me because I keep leaning in and double cameraing myself. So, Cat, everyone needs to appreciate you. Oh, that butt. That's such a scratchy butt. Listening to Sky Diamonds. Hey. Anon C-SPAN. Good morning. Jason Blackwell, Houston. Oops. Just reset. Where was it? Sorry. Jason Blackwell. Hey, Houston. I used to drive Uber in London. My route circled Big Ben. I worked around the clock. Oh, my God. Have you guys ever looked up the taxi test in London? You have to memorize the entire map of London and know every single solitary road. And the test, they give you routes. Pick up someone here, you gotta drop them off there, and you have to, in your mind, tell them how to get there, what will be the quickest route. And they'll throw obstacles in your way of traffic here, bridges up there, so on. So you got to redo your route in your mind, and the test is giving them the exact route and what back roads and side roads and stuff you use. It's phenomenal. I think it might be one of those things that I will never become a taxi cab driver, but come MOAS, I might study for the taxi test just to see if my brain can do it and memorize the whole of London. Anyway, if you're in London or you go to London, take a taxi. Pick the brain of your taxi cab driver because they've got incredible spatial reasoning, highly trained, and I recommend it. You know, they're better than a Google map. They're better than your Waze or Apple Maps or anything else. Absolutely phenomenal brains on those taxi cab drivers in London. So take advantage of them. Not take advantage, like take advantage of them. Give me your money. But take advantage of their skill set. Pick their brains. They are geographical wizards, at least on the local and regional scale. G-Font, you should play your space intro. That was awesome. It was my intro for the space calls: run the jewels, lie, cheat, steal, kill. Which is, if you watch the Netflix docuseries Dirty Money, it's the intro for that. I do recommend watch that. Each one's like a little 2-hour documentary standalone on someone who does something really sketchy. Might be payday loans. It might be that was the thing that Britney Spears got caught up in with the conservatorships, like predatory powers of attorney that steal from old people. There's sketchy companies that deservedly got shorted because they were scams. Trump University, stuff like that. Absolutely just phenomenal docuseries. And that was their theme song. So Drew asked me which song. I was like, that one. Aaron Salentine, Houston, did you see BBBI was up 117% on the OTC market? Wait, what? I saw it gone up to like 9 cents, and then I wasn't paying attention. Crap. Oops. Sorry, one sec. I'm trying to. Okay. Okay, can I see it? Well, let me see it yet. Oh, that's because my calls went down. That's why. Okay. What's up? Yeah, 9.8 cents. Went up 117 today. Damn, son. Huh. Well, there you go. Which is weird because my calls went. But yeah. So weird. If there's going to be a buyer for Bed Bath & Beyond, they got to do it in the next month. So because of what you get. Like, if you wait longer and they've had to close more stores and lay people off and warehouses are closing and they lose inventory, then you lose a lot of institutional knowledge. And the institutional knowledge is what makes the store work. You need store managers, you need employees that know how to work the cash registers and do the stocking and shipping and all that stuff. And if you wait too long into this restructuring bankruptcy, you're going to lose a whole bunch of the institutional knowledge. And so if you do purchase the brand, what good is it going to be for you if you got to start all over again? Then you just have a Toys R Us situation where you're constantly opening a new Toys R Us store to only fail again. So whoever buys it's got to do it soon. And if you do a hostile takeover, you can buy the whole thing for pennies. But my guess is they would purchase it out of bankruptcy, pull the company and all its goodness and the name and everything else and the stock, and leave behind the debts. It's a smart way to do it. So someone buy them in the next month. The next month, I'll purchase the company. Ron Johnson, can we reverse engineer the space-time continuum to solve or create a new methods of space travel? I mean, space-time continuum is essentially dominated by gravity. And gravity is always attractive. I don't know how you'd create anti-gravity or reverse time or do the fold time thing. And as I'm doing the fold time thing, I'm realizing that I have the list from last week's Charity Tuesday, and I forgot to upload the list and do the drawing. Oh, it's been a week. That's what happens when I'm like having allergies like crazy. All I can think about is just go to sleep. Go to sleep and you'll stop sneezing and sniffling and snorting. So I still need to do that. Duh. So I need Friday show, I'll do the drawing. Friday show, do the drawing. Friday show, do the drawing for the puzzle. That's what I need to do. Oh yeah, reverse engineering space-time. So, I mean, the idea is folding space. So you're here and you want to go here. Is that you just fold space, end up on the other side, then unfold space again, and that's how you do faster than light travel. How you do it, I don't know. We folded paper and just did it right there. But what mechanism would you fold space? And theories about wormholes doing that, but we've never actually seen a wormhole, nor do we know how one would get created or where one would exist or what one would look like if we saw it. There's, lots of theoretical things that have to do with the fantastic. At the moment, it's still all theoretical and sci-fi. Our best bet probably is just a lot of thrust and gobbling up space debris to fuel it. Thief88. Houston, happy birthday. What's the difference between Anchorage, Alaska in January and a jalapeno? Anchorage is freezing and a jalapeno is just a little chilly. Oh. Okay, they're gonna get a rope. Brad B. Houston, about GME, MOAS. How will the shorts cover all the fake shares? Will the market makers need to buy back all the fake shares and erase them off the books? Yep. There's only two ways to close out those positions. One, buy a real share and hand it over to somebody who has a fake share and replace it. That deletes an obligation. Or two, buy a fake share, and delete it from existence. There's only two ways you can close out your positions. So you either you gotta buy it all. You gotta buy the fake shares, you gotta buy the real shares. That's the only way you're gonna be able to close stuff. I'm sure it can get messy too, because you'll get a fake share that's an IOU that belongs to, I don't know, Melvin, and you get an IOU that belongs to Citadel, and an IOU that belongs to 0.72, and you might have to like do a bunch of swapping to be able to delete them all, or just like agree that just delete everyone that comes along. But if you agree to delete yours and they don't actually delete theirs, and then you are stuck with liability, and I don't know, I guess it's going to be a clearing nightmare. B. Sizzo. Hey, Houston. Thanks for doing the fireside chat with Andrew. It was awesome hearing your background. Well, thank you. I had no idea to expect to go in there. I was like, yeah, fine. I'll go on a space call. And he was like, I promise it'll just be you and me. It's not going to be like 50 people talking. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do it. But, all right. It was fun, though. I enjoyed it. Roderick Apellones? Houston, how much do you think BBY will pump in the OTC? Not a clue. Not a single clue. There's only two options with Bed Bath & Beyond. Option number one, there's a buyer, it flies, we make some money. Option two, there is no buyer, it withers and dies, and the stock just desiccates and dies on the pink sheets. So any money of Bed Bath & Beyond, think of it in your brain, say that money's gone. It is lost forever, and it will be a tax write-off at the end of the year. And that way you can be pleasantly surprised if it isn't, and you make some money off of it. But if it ends up being just garbage and a tax write-off, embrace that, know it, post your loss porn, and move on with your life. It is not a sound investment. It is a long shot lotto ticket. And that's about all you can get out of that. Carlos R. Just want to say hello. Can't wait for MOS. Hello. Ron Johnson. More and more people are not buying into religion. Profits are down. Oh my God. YouTube needs to allow geocoordinates again. Your terrible jokes are killing me. They're killing me. B. Sizzo, Ken Griffin paid for a cringe show called Citadel so that people hate reading talking about Citadel when they see it. That actually that would be a brilliant idea, that when you search Citadel, you just get this crappy TV show no one wants to see, rather than being hit with Citadel securities. That's a good conspiracy theory there, B. Sizzo. It's a very good conspiracy theory. Because, the show has actors with chops. It's got money behind it. They've got the sets. They've got all that stuff. But the script is so terrible. It's so predictable. And just, blatantly pulls from the Bourne Identity and other things without, being an homage. It's just like, you're like Jason Bourne. This full-on memory wipe spy. Really? You're going with that? It was bad, and I had no interest in ever continuing, and I don't care how it ends. Although the lady spy was a real looker. I'll give her that. Stanley Tucci. I think Stanley Tucci just wanted to be in Italy or something. That's why I agreed to the script, and I just inhaled my water. All right, there we go. About once every 6 months, people. I try to see if I've developed gills, and I have not. Stanley Tucci did that to me for bad mouthing a show. Andrew Colieber. Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. I'll say birthday. Scott Pollan. GameStop announcement yesterday included guidance for 2023, path to profit for the year, and new line to communicate directly with board via mail. Write those letters, folks. Handwrite them. Put some lipstick on them. Wax seal them. Send them in the mail. Okay. There it is. Okay. Jay Geyser have formed a solid opinion on gap between APE and of AMC of 3.5x. Asking again, real versus actual perhaps equals 10 times the float of AMC, but how many would you guess on APE at best before merger and reverse split? Especially relevant with banks dominoing and possible margin calls actually being enforced. My thinking is squeeze before merge, reverse split. I'm not that big on an AMC APE squeeze at the moment. They gave way too many shares to a short hedge fund. That short hedge fund lent out a pile of them, and they're also being used as identifiers to cover positions that are naked positions that were created. And if the price does squeeze, AMC is just going to sell a whole bunch of shares. If it happens before the reverse split, it'll be harder for AMC to do that, although they can sell as many apes as they want. I don't know, man. Adam Aaron has just put such a bad taste in my mouth that I just can't. I want out. Like, it's bad when a CEO makes me regret my investment in something, and I want the reverse split just so the price can get up to a reasonable level again, and I can buy more GME with it. I don't know. I don't see how this company will squeeze with Adam Aaron doing what Adam Aaron does, which is sell to hedge funds. He sells to hedge funds. I said don't sell to hedge funds. He sold. I said don't sell any before T90's done. He sold. And then I said that hedge fund he sold to is a short hedge fund. Everyone's like, no, they're the good guys. And then last week reveals they have a giant short position. Just sell to us. Sell to us. We will buy. Sell to us. Don't sell to the enemy. Sell to us. Don't sell to private equity. Sell to us. We are the ones that saved your company. Quit rewarding other people. And when you do sell at the top and do it slowly. Don't just dump it all at once and crash your own stock price. Like, Jesus Christ, just learn a lesson, man. Learn the lesson. Sell slowly, make a bunch of money, pay off your debt, be done. That's how you do it. And you just don't sell to hedge funds. They can eat shit and die. Scott Pollan, DTCC collateral haircut is a de facto margin call. That's why we are seeing sell-offs. They're probably selling a bunch of penny stocks right now. I mean, there already were stuff for like stocks that are $5. There's already the haircut involved for them. But there's a bunch of middle price stocks that are being hurt right now that, like, you know, your stock is between $7 and $10 or $5 and $10. You're only getting 50% of the value in margin. So they're going to have to trade up for something more expensive. So you may see a little bolster in some of the bigger stocks as people get rid of their smaller stuff to buy in. So this really is like a stepping on the little guy type mode. But what happens when the treasuries start to be in trouble? That's all when we have to really think about it. Nyani, Payday is a co-op game where you rob banks. Well, that sounds fun. It's like, but I don't know. Is there Houston on there, I guess? Veritarian, welcome. A long time, man. How you been? Finally got some time to watch. Got job offers from JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America, both trying to beat the other's offers. Should I jump aboard the enemy ship? Take their money while you can. My guess is JP Morgan would outlast Bank of America. That's just my guess. They've been bullish. Bank of America has been like, I'm dying, even though they're a major bank. They're all evil, but, you know, take their money while you can. Ted Bingham says, yes, get paid and learn from the inside, then tell us. There, it's as good a thing as possible as you can forget right there, is be our spy. Be our spy, Paratarian. Double agent. Ryan Casson. DTCC to apply 100% haircuts due to compliance concerns. Across a lot of securities, too. If bonds are below AAA, AA minus, so that'd be BBB plus, they don't count anymore. You can't use them as collateral. That's a big deal. Especially, think about this, right? In 2011, due to brinksmanship on the debt ceiling, U.S. bonds got downgraded from AAA down to, I think, AA, right? Imagine a downgrading of U.S. bonds from whatever status they're right now. I don't know if they're AA or AAA, but down to BBB plus. And all of a sudden, U.S. Treasuries can't be used as collateral for anything because we're not paying our debts. That is brutality. Don't. Just raise the debt ceiling, man. Raise it. Veritarian, that's what I'm thinking. Trojan horse, take their money or report back. Yes, do it. Is that supposed to be a Zach Frost or is it Zevich Frost? Live Robinhood glitch happening right now in my burner account. I have 85% AMC APE portfolio and my portfolio dipped 90% today according to the 3-month chart. Go check your portfolios, people. Interesting. I don't have mine in Robinhood. I do have mine in Fidelity. If there's any glitches happening in Fidelity. Biometric. Click on the account. Nope. That's still going. What the hell is that? What on earth is this? Some random stock is in one share of some random stock is on my Fidelity account called Octo. Where'd you come from? Did that used to be what's the thing that spun off from B Big? The Cryptide. It must be Cryptide. They must have combined them like Cryptide and turn it into something called Octo. Whatever. It's only worth $2. Who gives a shit? Be big, you suck. Down 16 cents. Okay. I don't see it in my Fidelity, so it must be a Robinhood thing. G-Font. I was referencing the HWAP intro that is like Space Countdown. I think you have played it once. Oh, yeah, Tyler English sent me another one. What'd I do with it? Where are you? Let's see here. That was... wonder if 22 seconds. 22. I wonder if I can do that. He sent me another one that was edited. And 5. It might be this one. Okay, let me see if I can. Let me see. Click on that. Go media file. Add source. New source. After Dark 2.0. Add source. Browse. Gotta go to... Which one? Did the same thing? Like that. Oh crap, it's playing already.
Colonizing the moon is a necessity. We need the minerals on the moon to basically power our civilization for the next 10,000 years. So, we're going to do it. We have to do it. Oh, hello.
I like that it puts monkey butt in the corner there. All right, there we go. That's from Tyler English. After our 2.0. All right. Repair turn. Toss a few hundred at No Labs. We'll see how this plays out. Might be another Bior Prog. Maybe. But, you know, once they get their wearable out there, they can start doing continue their FDA tests. And that's going to be the big deal. Is when they have a wearable. Just plunk. It's on people's wrists. It's giving them real-time updates to glucose levels accurately. And the FDA goes, oh my God, you've been christened as an FDA-approved device. And then they can get insurance money and we're all filthy rich. That's the goal. AP confidently says BBYQ will absolutely hit over $100 when it starts to move. I would gladly take that because that would mean every single solitary one of my 250 calls are worth like $10,000 each. Now, that's 2.5 million. I'll take that. Give it to me. I'll buy the rest of the GME with it. Jay Geyser. Need continuum transfunctioner dude and twins. What? Mudkip. Houston. After your last show, I was wondering if you get a bunch of people asking you to date them. At times. I've had some very, very nice letters from some very nice ladies. I don't necessarily know how to respond to them. But, I mean, happens when it happens, I guess. I don't know. The long distance thing is not my where my head is at. So a lot of them are like halfway around the world. But yeah, I get some nice letters every once in a while in the P.O. box, which I checked the P.O. box and I got a bag of pistachios from someone. Thank you. Supposedly there were some shirts coming and there were no shirts in there. So if you sent shirts, the post office never got them. I asked, I was like, is there more boxes for me? Like, no, nothing's come. So I don't know where the shirts are. Somebody sent a whole bunch of shirts that are, I think they're like GME shirts with the GME stuff that I can give away as prizes for Charity Tuesdays. So I don't know what happened to that box. I don't know where they are. But the post office says they never got them. So I don't know. Ted Bigum. Apple earnings stock pop due massive buybacks coming calls. I mean, last time all I heard was the revenue was way down and I bought some puts and it bit me in the ass because it did so much stock buybacks that their earnings per share didn't change. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's amazing. And the price went up and I got hosed. So I learned that lesson. Don't mess with big companies that have kajillions of dollars to do stock buybacks. They will delete the entire float if they have to keep their earnings per share the same. They will spend all that money rather than spending it on dividends. They will buy the stock back instead. Dragon. Mexico give at Russian goose guys Delicious Bimbo Company of Mexico. I have no idea. Those are all words. I know Mexico, I know give, I know at, I know Russian. So Mexico give at Russian. Goose guys. Delicious Bimbo Company of Mexico. I don't know what that means. Sam Neill, Event Horizon. It's all non sequitur there. Dragon Goose. Something's being lost in translation, Dragon. But yeah, Goose. I agree. Goose is. AP Houston. Where in the U.S. would you say is it good to live? Got a job opportunity in the U.S. and can move anywhere working for a mining company. Well, that's exciting. Come hang out over here. My opinion is that the East Coast, the summers are absolutely unbearable. It's humid. It's gross. The winters are, and you have a lot more bugs. West Coast, the ocean's cooler. It's drier when it's warm. The winters, not so bad. And, I don't know, better hiking. More land you can enjoy. I am West Coast biased, of course. I'm not going to recommend any of the Midwest because, I mean, maybe you're just a person who likes, grass for as far as you can see. That's not necessarily for me. I mean, there's great cities with liveliness. It's a lot cheaper in the Midwest. But man, a lot of it is 9 months of winter, 3 months of bugs. And that's not the life for Houston. Although there are some beautiful places. I do think like Duluth, Minnesota, July, August is the most beautiful city in America. I just don't have any interest in being there from like November through April. Doesn't seem like a place I want to be. Paratern, day 420, asking Houston to look up Dr. Becky Smethurst on YouTube and seeing if she'll come on the show talk about space. Did I write Dr. Becky Smethurst down? I may have, and I don't know what I did with my writing. Dr. Becky. Dr. Becky Smethurst. Space Talk. Okay. Dr. Becky Smethurst, Space Talk. Noted. There's the reset of the chat again. Lucy in the Sky says AP should check out Los Osos, California and Morro Bay, both beautiful seaside towns. I do think seaside towns are the way to go. I am in a seaside town. I like being able to like walk to the water and see it and watch the ships go by and the birds fly around and the porpoises and dolphins do their thing. And it is just lovely. You want to walk on the beach? It's right there. Go for a walk on the beach. Monkey Bill wants to roll in a dead seal. There's one underneath that log. She can roll in that dead seal all day long. I like it. Ted Bingham, White Apple tank today if they will just do buybacks to pop earnings. This is set up for calls and get liquidity for big funds. Seems like as good a plan as any. Beartarian tells AP to go to Colorado or Nashville, maybe Central California, Yosemite, Big Sur area. All options. Brandy, what is your shirt? Tacos. They are tacos with little skeleton hands holding the tacos. I don't know what it means. They're tacos on a shirt. Little teeny tiny tacos. Holding little teeny tiny, held by little teeny tiny skeleton hands. Someone made it. Someone liked it. I bought it. Hey Geyser, what 3 words instead of coordinates? I don't know what that means. Dragon. You can go to Russia if you had a passport, American, and that's a job. You want a more job, come to the tax is up to 0.25. Dragon, I'm loving every bit of this. Ron Johnson, foil. BBBI withers and dies to those hedge funds and market makers that shorted it to nothing, have tons of cash to attack other tickers, or have they already used that money? That's a good question. My guess is when they made that money, they used it to make other plays. So they might not have that cash on hand. Although they finally get to like write it off and be like, I don't have to pay you back. I'm out. But my guess is that they played with that cash already. AP also says, Paratarian, how about Arizona Phoenix area? The company I work for has some big office there. Maybe me and family get quicker social life, getting to know colleagues. We are from Sweden. Arizona, Phoenix itself, I don't like as a city. I'd rather be like in Tucson if I were at a city, or like up in Prescott. Phoenix itself, But Phoenix is inhuman 6 months of the year. Like, being from Sweden, I don't think you've experienced heat like you will in Phoenix in May, June, July, August, September. It is 50 C every day for like 4 months. So you are in air conditioning, you sprint to your car, you get in your car, you crank the air conditioning, you're dying because your car is 1,000,000 degrees. Air conditioning finally comes on. You're at the grocery store. You sprint from your car to the grocery store. Grocery store is air conditioned. You do your shopping. Okay, now you get your stuff back into your 9,000 degree car. I hope none of your ice cream melts in the 30 seconds it takes to get there. Plus you get in the car and the car is now 9,000,000 degrees again. It is inhuman. That's why people are snowbirds. They'll spend their winters in Arizona. Then they'll come back north and spend their summers up here, because our summers are just pleasant generally. But man, Arizona 6 months of the year is so terrible. Whew. I can't imagine living in Phoenix for those months, man. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, Lucy likes Flagstaff. Yeah, Flagstaff, Sedona, Prescott's up in the Arizona Highlands. And summer's much more pleasant. Winters are really cold, but summers are much more pleasant. Yeah, Scott Pollan, DTCC haircut for any assets below AA. Yeah, and most assets are below AA. So, man, that's a lot of municipal bonds that can no longer be used as assets. That is a lot of corporate bonds, all junk bonds, which just de-incentivizes A, lending to these companies, B, anyone buying the bonds that exist. So it's a way indirectly, I think, to murder small cap companies in general. Just mean. It's just mean, but they got to do it. G-Font, Josh Hamilton for episode 300. Ah, I thought what was episode 300? This is 297. So Friday's 298. Monday 299. It'd be next Wednesday would be 300. Not Josh, gotta get someone to throw on here, right? Should have somebody to celebrate 300 with. Maybe we can get Rosa for 300 because she was supposed to be on a couple weeks ago, and then the Freedom of Information Act stuff got dumped, and she had to do a lot of writing, and good writing it was. Yeah. Tobika Chaz just tuned in. What is happening to our banks? Is this a conspiracy or a fact show? Where is your info arriving from? Who is this affecting? What should we do? Well, Tobika Chaz, what's happening to the banks is people are pulling out their money. There's runs on all the banks happening, especially with large depositors. They're just yanking all their money out and they're sticking it somewhere else, whether it's buying Bitcoin or dumping it into larger banks like JP Morgan. They are taking their money out of these banks. At the same time, the depositors' money is being held oftentimes in long-term, low-interest rate bonds and mortgages and things like that. That the interest rate is below that of inflation, so the demand for those bonds are puny and no one wants them. And you can purchase those bonds for pennies on the dollar. So if depositors are pulling their money out, the banks have to sell these bonds at a huge loss, and their assets plummet dramatically, causing even scarier more runs on the banks and so on. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy or self-sustaining cycle of bad news, and a lot of local banks, regional banks, are hit by this, and they're just dying. And most of them should have dumped their low interest fixed rate bonds a year and change ago. JP Morgan did. They got rid of all of it. They dumped a lot of them onto the small banks and went, suckers, I'll buy you later. Because if interest rates are at 5%, right? So there are bonds now with 5% interest rates. Why would you spend your money buying interest rates at 1% or 2%? That's just losing money, basically. So the demand for those bonds are non-existent. And that's why those all those regional banks are getting whooped on right now. So, I mean, the best thing, people at FRC lost $100 billion in depositors. Now, if those $100 billion in depositors had taken their money out and used that money to buy puts on their bank, they could have collapsed their own bank and made a fortune in the process. Unless you're in Robinhood, because apparently Robinhood isn't paying off on any of the FRC banks, FRC puts. And they're like, yeah, well, they're worthless. And people are like, no, they're worth a lot. But I'm not going to pay you for them. There's a whole brouhaha going on. Same thing happened when SVB went down. But yeah, local banks are just toast. ETX Kevin reverse split rename worthless stock. That was the Cryptide one, the Octo or whatever. Just be big, you guys suck so bad. Okay. Ted Bingham. What invention was more important? The voice recorder, first wax records, or first cellulose film or video? I'm going to go with voice recording because it begat the next steps in evolution in capturing sound and video. Because voice recording on wax cylinders ended up going to vinyl. Vinyl became reel-to-reel tapes. Reel-to-reel tapes became digital recordings. And those digital recordings got even smaller and tinier and compressed, and they flow through the airwaves and everything else. And they all share a platform with video. So I'll go with the first wax cylinder recordings were very profound. Yes. You can argue with me if you want. I won't actually care that much. Connor Nee, do you think GME will be profitable next quarter? Generally, like winter quarter is going to be the slowest. You're going to have the least number of game releases. No one releases any new systems. So you're going to see drive from the video game market itself. But compared to previous quarters, they might do all right. Because Christmas, that Q4 leading up to Christmas is where a retailer like that makes all their money. And that's when all the hit games get released. They get released in like October, November before Christmas so that all the kids can beg their parents for them. And the parents go out and they buy themselves the new Xbox or PlayStation or whatever and then give them the hottest game. And their kids, say they love them and they ignore them for the next 500 hours as they yell slurs at people across the internet and shoot them. But I think they'll do all right. Where I lost my spot again. There we go. Twiggy Chasm basically living in 2008. Well, apparently we are all too living in 2008. This time we're like, the sky is falling and everyone on Wall Street's like, da, 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 da. So no one's freaking out yet. Virginia Beach or Vada Beach says San Diego. I love San Diego. Of all the places I've lived, the one that I would move back to and probably wouldn't regret it would be San Diego. I really, really, really like living in San Diego. It was just, I was young. I was on the beach. I was working, getting paid great money to work these jobs that were started at like 6:30 at night working on computer systems. I get done at 2 a.m. I'm a total night owl, as you can see from my very many late night shows. And I would go out, I would get home. I'd go surfing at noon. There'd be no one out there because everyone was at work. So I had all the waves to myself. I'd surf all day. And then at 5 o'clock, eat a big meal, take a shower, and go off and work again. It was like the perfect schedule for me. I was buff, bronze, and bitching. And man, I was really enjoying my life. Plus, I was living with like two of the most beautiful Swedish sisters in the entire world, and being right on the boardwalk there, just gorgeous people all over the place. I'll be honest, ugly people don't go to the beach. It's all gorgeous people. So eye candy was just everywhere. Along with weirdos, there was the Clifford the Big Red Dog on roller skates who would go around, and he had like a tail sticking out of his butt. That guy was interesting. I'd see him all over the place and be like, wow, he's still going. Guess that's what you do in your retirement is you dress like Clifford the Big Red Dog in a very sexual manner, and you go up and down the boardwalk and roller skates all day getting a hell of a tan. But yeah, I really, really like San Diego. If you want to know where I lived in San Diego, watch the most recent season of oh crap, what's that show called? Veronica Mars. The last season of Veronica Mars, she and her husband, boyfriend, dude, live in my old house. So my old house in San Diego, that's the one they used for her in the last season of Veronica Mars, which was weird. I saw that show and I was like, that's my house. That was my room. And I wrote my old roommates. I was like, you gotta watch this show. And they're like, we're in Australia, we don't get Hulu. I was like, duh. But yeah, it was weird, very weird. Okay. No. Lucid Sky Diamonds. I'm pretty used to hot weather. I'm now in Papua working at Freeport Mining. What? Like Papua New Guinea, working in the big mining place there? What? That you guys did. Oh, yep, there's maps. Like way out here, Lucy, way out here. There's some crazy gold mines out here. Absolutely nuts. There's some huge ones, and there's really crazy ones. So there's this type of rocks called alkalic rocks, and alkalic rocks have an innate gold concentration that's absolutely insane. There's one deposit in Montana that was doing in like 1800s dollars, $500,000 of gold per ton was the gold content in the rock, which multiply that by 50, that's the price you'd be today. So like $25 million in gold per ton was how much gold they're pulling out of that rock. Well, the big mines in Papua New Guinea, they have just crazy, like the hot springs that come up are like 1,000 parts per million gold in just the water coming out of the hot springs. And these really crazy gold vents, the vents like hot water vents, they're coming up from the earth, just well as melted gold, are nuts. So there's some really, really big mines happening in Papua New Guinea. Let's see if we can see it from space here. I'm not seeing them pop up immediately. Maybe there? That looks like a mine. Edie Creek. Yeah, they're mining here, but that looks much more subsistence than anything else. That's not like a big pit mine. That's a mine, right? Oh no, that's like that's a PNG Forest Products. That's a mill. Okay, we'll find one. We'll find a big. There's got to be some open pits visible out here. Yeah. Osmosis, Bangambi, Momali. Where are you? Where are you? I talked to a missionary who had been in Papua New Guinea, and he was talking about like 30-foot crocodiles in the rivers here. Just absolutely nuts. Just 30 feet long. One crocodile. Yeah. Papua New Guinea just, it is so remote out here. I mean, there are not roads. There's communities apparently. Like that's a community right there. Right there. People apparently live there. It's the type of place where you go a mile or two through the forest and there's a completely different language being spoken. There's like 1,000 languages that get spoken in Papua New Guinea to begin with. Just wild. Anyway, totally lost track of what I was doing, but gold mines, Papua New Guinea, fantastic. Hand me a taco shirt. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah. If you look up Crested Butte, Colorado, too, amazing old mining town, gorgeous southern Colorado mountains, and amazing skiing. Crusty Buttes, awesome. I admit that. Winters are very cold. Brian Collins, Phoenix here. Day weekend trips to Flagstaff and Payson are a must during the summer to stay sane. I believe it. I believe it. Ron Johnson, are you going to invite Stephen Greer onto the show? Talk space alien travel. Oh yeah, Stephen Greer guy. You guys keep trying to get me to bring on. All right. Let's say Stephen Greer comes on and he spouts off some absolutely bibbledy conspiracy theory crap that I know is bullshit. Will I just be like, bullshit? Or will I just go, oh, cool, and let him keep talking? I don't know. I don't know where I'd be at there. Used to been working in Eritrea, 60C in the shade. Okay, then you know what? Then you know what hot is. All right. I was thinking like Sweden. You guys have really great summer for a couple of months there, and then it is not 50C type temperatures. But yeah, Eritrea. If you've been in Eritrea, you know what hot is. You were in the Sahara. You got it. Okay. I have wanted to go to the Red Sea. Cat, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. Come here, you fat load. Come on. Come on. Come on. Or just cat. Come on. Quit messing with me. Come on. Come here. Come on. Come here. Oh, you're such a heavy cat. You're such a chunk. Yes, you are. Okay. Tom George saw Event Horizon when I was 12, still horrified. I watched Event Horizon years after it came out. I never saw it when it first came out. It was an alright horror film. Oh, dog got her spot. She's the color. Look at her. She's like very slowly getting. Oh, there we go. That's the stuff. Like, I went into it thinking like, oh, this movie is going to be really terrible because all the reviews I read were terrible, and it wasn't as bad as I remember. Or as bad as they had said it would be. Much better than that. I guess like the original director quit halfway through, was fired, and had a second director finish the movie, and they'd like merged the two styles, and all this drama happened on the set. But it was much better than the reviews had led me to believe it was going to be. Ted Bingham. Crud. Ted Bingham just keeps resetting every single time I scroll. Ted Bingham. Healthcare, for example, partly so expensive because so many people default, which raises healthcare costs. If we gave death penalty for not paying, would actual price of many things be lower? No. The price of healthcare is cost so much because insurance costs so much. The entire healthcare industry is built upon private insurance, and private insurance hates paying for things, so hospitals then have to overcharge to get their money's worth out of the insurance companies, and then negotiate down to what's still an extremely high price. Most hospitals are nonprofits and are legally required to forgive any of the healthcare bills for anyone who makes 3 times the federal poverty level or below. They don't. They oftentimes will send creditors after these poor folks and try to squeeze every penny out of them when they should be giving this care for free because they're a nonprofit hospital. Healthcare is expensive because we have too many administrators and people are trying to make a profit off of it. You remove the profit incentive and keep an altruistic system like most nations around the world, all of a sudden healthcare costs drop a lot, becomes better service for everybody. You eliminate millions of administrators that we have now. Just imagine every doctor you know is not necessarily an employee of the hospital. They have admitting rights, right? Admitting privileges. They literally rent the space they're in from the hospital. So you'll get a bill from the doctor, you get a bill from the hospital. Those two bills combined are your medical expenses. That doctor has to hire accountants and nurses and the people who facilitate their payment schedules for them, their accounts receivable, etc. And the doctors spend a lot of time focused on billing when they should be spending that time treating patients, because our private healthcare system is so messed up that they're just not on salary like they should be. They have to like do billable hours and figure all this stuff, all this paperwork. So the layer of bureaucratic administration between the doctors efficiently using their time and getting to the patients is obfuscated by this incredible bureaucracy that's set up to figure out how to pay for all this. If you just nationalized it, if you just made all the hospitals federally owned, you put all the doctors and nurses on salaries, and you said, hey, treat people as they come in. That's your job. You would need a couple of administrators to make sure that, like, paper products got ordered and pharmacy got stocked, and etc. But you wouldn't need to have all of these billing people filling it all out. There's 800,000 doctors in the U.S., and there's 2.2 million administrators. That is not a sustainable system. We should have probably 2.2 million doctors in the U.S. And maybe 10,000 administrators, 50,000 administrators. That's about it. That'd be enough to run the hospitals if we were nationalized in a universal system. But most people can't pay their healthcare bills because, well, their healthcare bills are insanely expensive. You get cancer, $1 million. Oh, you make $45,000 a year? You don't have $1 million? Tough shit. Pay us. We're going to take your house and your car and everything else. You probably got fired from your job because all your chemo you're going on. Like, we can't deal with this guy anymore. He's not showing up to work. We just need to have a much more humane system that focuses on just taking care of people. And the economy would do better as a result. Because 30%, 30 cents on the dollar of every healthcare dollar you spend goes just to the bureaucracy of the health insurance company. 30 cents. You want to save 30% right off the top? Murder the health insurance companies. Yeah. Okay. Thanks to El Nino. What? What is a cold thing to do? Well, El Nino is starting to build up. We've been in La Nina for the last 2 years, and it looks like we're starting to build some El Nino, which is going to make for a great summer here. We love it when it's El Nino in the summertime here. We love La Nina in the winter because it makes our mountains full of snow. But the rest of the world gets screwed up with El Nino. As has been Johnson, I prefer to live in the great state of Oklahoma. Women are women, and nobody is trying to push riders onto railroad tracks. Sure, whatever. But then you're in Oklahoma still, so, there's that. This is Oklahoma is so hot and humid. Summer though. I remember a couple of years ago, Oklahoma hit 105 in January. People were like, what the hell? Like, January, 105 in Oklahoma. No explanation for it. Listen to this guy. Houston, fun fact, my ex-boyfriend is the CEO of Western Alliance Bank. You've talked about him before. Dated for 10 years, should have married him. Oh, well, you said Western Alliance was doing all right, though. They weren't tied in with all those long-term, short, low-interest loans. So hopefully, pulling for him. Squamps, squorf, squee, squaw. Definitely. My dad was upset I didn't marry him. Jamaican Mon. Hey, Houston, happy birthday. That was a cool space you had with Drew Diligence tonight. What are your thoughts on Jack Dorsey's Blue Sky, Twitter's rival, Think in Advance? I would love to see it. Was it Julius who sent me their terms and conditions? Their terms of service looked awful. Absolutely, like, we own you type terms of service. You have no powers. Anything you write, we own type creepy stuff. But I'll still check it out if I get an invite. Because Twitter is definitely a dying platform. Once you lose the shit posters, who are the hilarious ones who keep it going, and you make it untenable for legit news services to frequent and use your site because you're just a dick. they'll find a new one. They'll leave eventually. And will it be Blue Sky? I don't know. I've tried out Spoutable. Spoutable's okay. Tried out Post. Post is okay. Tried out Mastodon. Mastodon sucks ass. So we'll see how Blue Sky goes. I don't have access to it yet. I was on the original list and then never got an invite. And then nobody's been nice enough to send me an invite. So I got nothing. Not you? You're not in Papua New Guinea? Wait, what? Lucy is spilling the deets. Pacific Northwest Texan, why will Title 42 open the floodgates at our borders? Well, Title 42 was an emergency measure that Stephen Miller got put in as an executive order of the Trump administration, claiming that we got to keep anyone who's trying to immigrate to the U.S. outside the U.S. because they might have COVID. Even though COVID is already rampant. We were like the most COVID infected country at the time. Essentially, it was just to keep brown people on the other side of the border because that's who Stephen Miller is. He's a Nazi. I don't say that lightly. Stephen Miller is straight up white supremacist. Even his own teachers called him a Nazi when he was in high school. Title 42, once it goes away, a lot of the folks from Central America who have been trying to get asylum in the U.S. because, quite frankly, Central America is run rampant with gang members and cartels, largely because a bunch of gang members who formed gangs here in the U.S. got taken and sent there without any infrastructure to handle such gang members. So a lot of folks are discovering that their neighborhoods are flooded with these gangs who are basically gang members from the U.S. A lot of them grew up from like age 2 in the U.S. and then joined street gangs. All of a sudden find themselves in El Salvador or Honduras or whatever. And they're doing the gang thing. And they're making lives absolutely miserable for the people who are trying to farm and live their life. So those people are being chased away. They're running for the U.S. border. They get to the U.S. border and we go, yeah. Even though our laws say if they come and ask for asylum, we're supposed to give them asylum. Title 42 makes it so that it's like sleep in these tent camps on the other side of the border. And they have to have a phone app to get an appointment to discuss with an immigration official their asylum. And there's like 1 million people on the other side of the border trying to get in for 700 appointments a day. So it just keeps piling up. Even though the law is if you set foot in America and you ask for asylum, you get asylum. That's what our country was built on. But it's largely, I think, a racist law because we're taking in asylum seekers and refugees from Ukraine, right? We're not turning them away. They're a bunch of white people. We're not doing it to anyone who's coming across the Canadian border seeking asylum. We're just doing it for brown people. And honestly, I don't care if our country gets flooded with asylum seekers. Bring them. I don't care. We have work they can do. Let's do it. Every restaurant in my city, in my region, in my metropolitan area needs workers. Come on, we'll give you a job. I don't care. It used to be when I worked in a kitchen, it was all a bunch of Mexican dudes. And now it's a bunch of angry white dudes. Because all the Mexican guys they're back in Mexico. But we got people who need work, or we got people who have jobs and need employees. Bring them. The cat's going nuts. He wants to go outside. All right. Leave, cat. Get out of here. Okay. Where was SS Miller Johnson? Universal Healthcare takes many weeks for an appointment, subpar service, and far too many denials for care. Very sad system. Everyone always says this, and then they find out that like wait times in America are just as long or longer than any national healthcare system in the world. You want to get an elective surgery, knee surgery, whatever. You're looking at 6 to 9 months before they'll have an opening for you. especially seeing specialists. You're screwed. And it's going to cost you a fortune in the process. For the price of my mom's hip surgery last year, which she had to wait several years for due to COVID and everything else, she could have gone to Spain, rented a villa on the beach, and lived on the beach for an entire year and paid for her surgery. That would have been the cost for her as an American to go get her hip surgery in Spain. Instead, she comes to America, they do her hip surgery, and the next day they're like, "Get the fuck out." It's crazy. When I was in Norway, I stayed in a hotel at a hospital, because in Norway, if you got to stay, your family might have to stay with you, so they get a hotel room that's attached to the hospital, so you can rent the hotel room if they don't have too many people in the hospital. And at that hospital were all the new mothers with their little bassinets, and they're getting breakfast, the continental breakfast, and they're eating, and they'll stay in the hospital for like a week or 10 days because they want to make sure that the baby's latched, that the mother is healing, and all this stuff, take care of themselves. Here, you have a baby, they're like, "Get the fuck out." It's such a terrible system. And their system, while taking better care of their people, costs half the price of ours. Half the price. Their hospitals were so nice. Absolutely amazing hospitals. And ours oftentimes look like crime scenes with like bulletproof glass you gotta talk to somebody through. And our system sucks, man. SS Mano Johnson, just travel the world. I think part of the problem is that you may have never traveled and gone other places and seen that sometimes other countries might do things better than us. They have better public transportation. They have better hospitals. They got better schools. They have better walkable communities and a healthier population. There are places that are better than Oklahoma. Like, they just are. So I strongly encourage you to get your passport. Go visit some countries. Don't visit them as like, "I want American stuff." Go and experience how they live and see the difference that is there. And perhaps it'll awaken something inside of you where you go, "Oh my gosh, this is actually a better system than what I'm used to. I feel healthier and more vibrant, and the community is better and nicer." It's just go experience something outside the norm, something outside of Oklahoma. I think it will awaken something inside of you. This is Mino Johnson. Financial incentive and competition runs the world, like it or not. Not necessarily. Teachers aren't in it for the money, and they educate the entire world. Most people who have a calling to become a doctor, nurse, whatever, they aren't necessarily in it for the money. They're in it because they have a calling to help people. You make the system make it more easy for them to help people, and they'll stick around longer. It's true. Not everything has a financial incentive to it. Oftentimes, the financial incentive ruins things. Absolutely ruins them. We see it all the time in the markets, right? We could talk about stock buybacks that are essentially there to make sure that CEOs get their bonuses, but you got companies that instead of investing in R&D and fixing whatever systems they have and improving their infrastructure and logistics network and storefronts and stuff, they do stock buybacks so that their executives can get their quick bonuses and then get the fuck out and have the next guy come along. And then it will lead to things like failures of their infant formula plant getting absolutely just overrun with bacteria so that a bunch of babies starve across the country. Or let's say you're a pharmaceutical company buying up all the competition and quashing their drugs so that yours is the one that makes it to market, even though theirs might be better. And using that money to do mergers and acquisitions rather than like doing R&D so that the long-term goals of your company are going to absolutely fail. Not everything should be competition, have a financial incentive. Sometimes it just has to be a service that gets performed. Electricity, water, sewer. Those should just be services. You should just pay what it costs to make it run. And outside of that, not have to pay anymore. No one should trying to carve profit off of it. Just make it a utility, public utility. And the entire job of everyone who works at a utility is just make sure the service works. That's it. But putting a profit motive on those basic utilities leads to things like Enron, right? That didn't work out very well. Deregulating a lot of those basic necessary services doesn't help. Just some things should be left for profit and exploitation and whatever else. But other things that are like the basic necessities to survive, utilities, water, healthcare, just remove the profit incentive from there and just provide it as a service and let everybody focus on everything else. Squamps, just chat GPT and Excel spreadsheet and let the doctor shred. Yeah, that's the way to go. Jay Geyser, 40,000 words, which compose some 64 trillion unique 3-word combinations. Since the Earth has room for 57 trillion 3 meter squares on its surface, they left a few trillion extras lying around. What? Are you and Dragon having a competition to just absolutely confuse me more than anything? Kelly Russ, nationalized water, healthcare, education, safety, security. If anyone wishes to have a private option, go ahead, but then you can't use tax money to pay for that private option. Works for me, Kelly Russ. Joyce Wright. It sometimes takes 2 months for a doctor appointment, even with regular PPO BCBS. I remember what was I waiting for? I was in the doctor's office for something, and a woman came in because she was trying to make an appointment for a mammogram. And they're like, oh, it's going to be like 9 months. She says, 9 months? Like, what if I get cancer in the next 9 months? Like, I need a mammogram now. And like, oh, it's like 9 months. So something that goes like, honk, squeezes your boobs and is over, and someone looks at it and goes, cancer or no cancer? 9-month appointment for that. So yeah, it's not necessarily quick in our system. That's for sure. EclipseTickets.com, Houston. I donated 50 pairs of Eclipse glasses for your charity drives or however you want to disperse them. Should arrive by May 10th. Right on. When the eclipse happened in 2017, I was preparing for it years in advance, and I bought a whole bunch of Eclipse glasses specifically for that event. I bought like 1,000 of them. So I didn't know how many friends were going to show up. About 100 did. So I had 900 leftovers. And then I was reading about, as the eclipse got closer, people were buying them and discovering that they weren't actual eclipse glasses. They weren't blocking out light. You could go blind looking at the sun with them. Then we spent like a couple of days. We played in the river and had a good time where we were. But then we spent a couple of days going to all the camps and checking to see, me and the fellow astronomers that were there, checking to see if they had rated eclipse glass. If they didn't, we were passing out the ones we had. So there's a big eclipse April next year. It's going to be longer than the one we had in 2017. It's going to go, as it enters the U.S., it's going to go from Texas up through, I think, to Maine, like across the middle of the country into Maine. It should be about 6 minutes, I think. It's a nice, good long one. Yeah, so get your Eclipse glasses. I'll gladly pass those out for you there, Eclipse tickets. Daniel Campbell, I'm late. Have you talked about GTII and what brokers are doing with the restricted share dividend? There are not enough restricted shares to give to the holder, so we have a placeholder like MMTLP. Uh-oh. That sounds like GTII is about to go bonkers, as it might be 90 days away, but then we're going to go bonkers after they have to provide those positions or they have to close out. Ethereal Wasteland, 2 things. 1, when you're searching Google, you can hit the tools button and narrow the results down to the past year, week, hour. 2, please bring Whitney Webb on your show. Love to hear you two eggheads discussing. Whitney Webb. Put that under Becky Smotherhurst here. Whitney Webb. I don't know what Whitney Webb does, but she's on the list. Whitney Webb. Whatever she does there. Okay. They're like saying, discussing financial crimes, criminals, the things she's written about are absolutely wild. One nation under blackmail. She's one of the last true journalists. Okay, Whitney Webb. Noted. Feature Sunday, Freeport gold mine in Papua New Guinea is probably one of the reasons CIA overthrew Sukarno in lieu of Suharto. Yeah, I mean, the gold mines in Papua New Guinea are absolutely just crazy huge. They're getting so much gold out of them. And they're probably just like killing a whole bunch of native people, and they got all sorts of mercenaries out there. And my friend Ben was a merc who guarded oil pipelines and did work in Africa. And you always get hired through some intermediary, and you wouldn't know what company you're actually doing awful stuff for, except you would get stock delivered. So you'd be like, well, I know I'm not officially employed by Shell, but they're paying me in Shell stock. So I think I'm employed by Shell to guard this thing. Absolutely just wild. I foresee something rather Rel 8. I relate. Crystal I relate. I foresee crystal or ball I relate. I don't know. Anytime you have a system in place that fails more than it succeeds, it's a faulty system. Agreed. SS Minnow Johnson, don't be glib about appointment timeframes, Houston. You're smarter than that. NIS, Cuban healthcare, Chinese system, etc. Terrible. And yet, they all have longer lifespans than the United States. Weird. Their wait times are longer, but they all live longer than we do. Interesting. We're the only industrialized nation whose lifespans are shrinking. So our system sucks, SS Minnow Johnson. You're talking to somebody who went bankrupt at 18 because I was a victim of a hit and run. Like, our system sucks. If you do get care immediately, it's unaffordable. If it's unaffordable, then what can you do the rest of your life? You're bankrupt. You're out. And the cat's now yelling to get back in. Yeah, now I went back in, you ding dong. Come on. There you go. You did your thing, got outside, now you're back in. Yeah, hi, buddy. So, yeah, our system is terrible. Like, let's say your appendix bursts. You have an unfortunate event, your appendix bursts, you get taken to the emergency room, get your appendix out. You're gonna be in there for a while because if it's burst and you go septic, you could be almost dead, and you're looking at probably $50,000 to $100,000 just for the surgery, and any other time after that might be $1,000 an hour while you're in intensive care, and you could be looking at $150,000 for your appendix bursting, right? Your appendix bursts in France, you get taken to the emergency room, they fix you up, and when you leave, they give you money because they're gonna be like, don't go to work for like 3 weeks and don't pick up anything more than 5 pounds for a couple of months because we had to cut your abdomen open. Like, you get pregnant in France and you have a baby, right? Everyone shoots for a May birth for their babies. They try to plan it if they can. So there's lots of babies get born in May because if the baby's 3 months old, it qualifies for free daycare, right? And the daycare admissions happens at the end of August every year. So the goal is to get your baby by May so that you can have your free daycare provided come August. Not only that, but the government twice a week for the next year or two sends a woman to your house not necessarily a woman, but someone to your house to help you do things so that you can take care of the child or have a break from the child, right? Because you're postpartum, your brain's getting scrambled, you have nothing but this baby all the time, you need someone to talk to, they'll help you fold laundry, they'll prepare a meal for you, they'll watch the baby while you can go to the bathroom and not have to take a child with you for once. These systems in these other countries are so much better than what we have. And they're cheaper and they provide more service and you're not going to go bankrupt. You get cancer in France, they'll take care of you. They'll pay for all the treatment. And when you're done, they'll pay for you to have a vacation. Why? Because you just went through fucking cancer. And they'll be like, you know what? Here's enough money for you to go on vacation for the next 5 weeks. You don't have to go to work until then. So go to the Canary Islands or whatever. Enjoy yourself. Go live it up and celebrate the fact you just got over cancer. And you come back. and their system is still half the price of ours. Like, American healthcare sucks so bad. In 2000, the WHO came out with the rankings of healthcare systems. We finished below Cuba and one above Costa Rica. We're at number like 38 in the world because our access to healthcare is so terrible. Because some people don't have health insurance to begin with. And when they do have health insurance, it's still prohibitively expensive. Like, what are you supposed to do with a $15,000 deductible and $100 copays with your bronze plan or whatever you're stuck with off the healthcare system, off the healthcare.gov? Like, oh, I'm going to have to make sure that I have a major accident so I can finally meet my $15,000 deductible and get some decent healthcare after that. That's not how we should be living our lives, man. It's just a terrible, terrible, terrible system. Truly awful. And we can do so much better. All we have to do is look at other countries that do better and go, why don't we do that? It's that easy. Maybe hire the person who runs their system. Like, hey, be a consultant. Tell us how to make this system work well. And the first thing they're going to say is, get rid of your health insurance companies. Or make them all nonprofit, which is what Switzerland and Taiwan does. No, sorry, Switzerland and Japan make all their health insurance companies nonprofit. And they have half the costs. Even Switzerland, the second most expensive healthcare provider in the entire world, is still like 60% of what we pay. And we pay so much for such a terrible service. So, as a Smith & Johnson, get out of the country. Just go on, get out. I want you to go to another country and have a major medical event. And have a heart attack, get hit by a car, something like that. And you're going to see just how shitty our system is. Like, in America, you could be dying from a gunshot wound, and the first concern that's going to pop up in your mind is be like, make sure they don't take me by an ambulance because I can't afford the $3,000 ambulance ride, which is just mind-blowing to other people around the world. They're like, wait, your ambulance ride costs $3,000? Isn't it just like you get in a car and you go somewhere? Like, yeah, they charge you $3,000 for the 15 minutes you're in the ambulance. Our system is so stupid. It's so dumb. So dumb. So free your mind, man. Go travel. Jay Geyser, Michael Moore, Sicko, Investigating Healthcare in the United States, 2007. That one is actually phenomenal. And a lot of people will be like, Michael Moore. Michael Moore specifically went out, and he didn't talk about people who are uninsured or the people that were on Medicare or anything else. He only did stories on people who have health insurance and how they got screwed because the health insurance companies arbitrarily deny coverage, refuse to pay, say that someone's out of network, whatever. And it's completely arbitrary. They just like spin a wheel like, yeah, we're not going to pay for that one. It just sucks to be you. You know, you've been paying your bills and your employer's been paying whatever. Like, it's just so dumb. I mean, you get stories. I think I'm going to talk about this in that show. Like a dude in an industrial accident lost 4 of his fingers, and the health insurance company would only pay to reattach one of them. So he had to pick which of his 4 fingers he lost he would like reattached because they wouldn't pay for the other ones to get reattached. Dude, like, we can do better than that. We can do better. You just put the doctors on salary and they just do the job. The salary would still be insane. It'd still be like $500,000-$600,000 a year. That's what it is for NHS doctors. So, and what? So some guy at Aetna won't have a $30 million bonus at the end of the year. I worked with a girl whose grandfather was the CEO. I think it was Aetna. He was the CEO of, and they lived in the just biggest house, and they had a big ski and ski out lodge in Park City, and they owned like a piece of an island in Bahamas and everything. And they were the greediest, stingiest fucks I've ever met in my entire life. Like, type of people that will tip $5 on a $200 dinner. Those type of people. And their granddaughter, moved here to help take care of them in their old age, and then they charged her rent. They're like, honey, we need you to come up here and help take care of us because we're getting old. And then she's like, oh, okay, I'll help take care of you guys. And then they're charging her like $700 a month for rent. Like, That's who's running your healthcare systems right there. Not a doctor, just some MBA douchebag. The house was really nice, though. I'll be honest. That was a very nice house. Sold a little while ago for like $10 million. It says Mayo Johnson. I've lived in a number of countries. Tiny, wealthy countries cannot be compared to nations where illegals flood the border. Stop stereotyping our own countrymen. It's sad. I'm going to say if you did live in other countries, you were probably there to kill those people. That'd be my guess. Just gathering. You weren't there to like live the experience and see what they had to offer. You were probably there to pillage. Just guessing. Due diligence. Shout out to Houston. Good chat tonight, bro. This dude has one hell of an interesting life. Well, thank you, Drew. I had a lovely time on your show, and thanks for coming by and saying hello. Lucy saw the Eclipse in 2017. Fantastic. Jamaican Mon. My cousin's young daughter is showing interest in science. Who do you recommend, Nye or Tyson? How old? And just do both. And get old copies of Mythbusters. Except Mythbusters on DVD is kind of hard to watch because half the show is them recapping what they did before because it was always coming back from commercial break. So watching Mythbusters on DVD is just excruciating because like they'll spend 5 minutes between commercials, right? And 2.5 minutes will be recapping what happened before the last commercial break. And the next 2.5 minutes are doing something cool. So if they could come out with a DVD version that took out all the recaps, so the show is just like 25 minutes long of them doing cool stuff, it would be even better. So Jamie and Adam, if you're watching my show, that's my recommendation, is that you re-edit all the shows so that the recaps get pulled out so that we can just see the cool segments of you guys doing cool things. Fits for streaming that way. Junkyard Wars are really cool, and Battle Bots. I recommend those things as well for your cousin's daughter. Also, if you have a nonprofit science center, go there. They do really cool stuff. They'll have planetariums, they'll do science shows, they'll have really cool hands-on exhibits. Here in Seattle, Pacific Science Center, they've got the what's the one in Vancouver? It has the dome like Epcot that was for the '86 World Fair. Can't remember, but most major cities have got a kind of a science center like that with some really cool stuff. You know, if you're in LA, go up to the Griffith Observatory. They do really cool star shows in their planetarium. If you're in a major city like DC or New York, the natural science museums are really cool. Natural history museums. I recommend those as well. Oh man, you told me how to pronounce your name, and I think it's Nikasi. Is that right? Might be getting it wrong. Good morning, Houston. Thanks for the UVix tip on yesterday's show. Got all I could at 369. Looks like great crash insurance. I think it might start bouncing if the market is truly in a bear. This is Scott Houston. When I had a gallbladder attack, they wanted to take out my gallbladder immediately, but I said no after research and found it increases your chance of getting colon cancer. Oh, my dad thought he was dying. So this was maybe 2005. My uncle, who was 10 years older than my dad, had recently passed away. And like my dad grew up Christian Scientist. They didn't believe in doctors at all. My dad was, pushing 70. He's like, I'm dying. This is it. This is the end. I feel like shit. And my brother just died, and it's the end for me. So he's like making his wills and saying his goodbyes. And my mom, we're long divorced this time. My mom's a nurse, and she is like, damn it, John Wade, just go to a doctor. Your youngest daughter hasn't even finished high school yet. Just go see a doctor and see what's wrong. He's like, well, it's because of my religion. She's like, I don't care. Think about her. So he's like, fine, went to the doctor. And the doctor was like, oh, you've got gallstones. Slice, yoink. My dad was like, I'm a new man. And I don't think he's been back to his Christian Science church since. It's been 17 years. He's living his life. Since then, he's had to get the muscle reattached in his arm because he pulled his bicep off. and he had to get hernia surgery. Just before COVID, he got hernia surgery. So the doctors have done a number on him and saved his life once when he was having some heart issues, blood pressure issues. So I don't think he's been back to church since then. I think he's kind of like, maybe this whole Christian Science doctors aren't real thing isn't working out. So I'm glad my mom was able to talk him into doing that, because I like having him around. But yeah, he didn't have to get his gallbladder removed, thankfully. It was just stones. And then my little sister sent me a care package. Care package is like, oh, cool, box of Cheerios, some sunscreen, and then this little baggie with these weird things in it. And I read this note from her. I was like, those are Dad's gallstones. So I got a care package with my dad's gallstones in them. Ron Johnson. Whitney Webb is awesome. Lots of Epstein knowledge, and his financial crimes was huge. Okay. Away today, don't go to the doctor unless life force is bleeding out. Oh, I don't go to the doctor unless life force is bleeding out. That's kind of the way a lot of people do it, and they don't get a lot of the maintenance upkeep they need on their lives. Loose in the Sky, changed my diet, got rid of gluten, and now in a meeting feeling much better. Eating bitter herbs, turmeric, spicy foods breaks down gallstones. All right, excellent. Benedict, we have the best specialists in the world, though, because we attract the top foreign doctors that want to make $1 million a year. Agree that access to coverage is piss poor. Yeah, it's the access to coverage thing. If you have these top specialists and you don't have access to them, then what good is the system? J. King, Houston, great to be here with you on another late night. Which is the battery tech that looks promising? Is it GMG or GMGF? What's up with their factory in Australia? I think the factory's done or almost done being built. GMGF is the ticker on the Toronto exchange where I have GMGF. The company is GMG, Graphene Manufacturing Group. But the ticker I purchased is GMGF on the Toronto exchange. And I had to get permission from Fidelity to purchase Canadian stocks to do it. So if you're going to buy a lot of it, because I think there's like a $50 fee just to buy a foreign stock on Fidelity. So make sure when you do it, you get a whole bunch rather than like one or two here and there. It's not going to cut it, because you'll be paying $50 for every single one of those shares, and that adds the cost. So if you're going to buy a whole bunch so that you don't have to pay that $50 once. And on C-SPAN or neither, don't forget the new wave of science on YouTube. Example for engineering, Mark Robar is pretty good for kids. And the lady who makes the silly inventions, I always like her. Like, the machine like slaps her awake in the morning. Those are always hilarious. I don't remember her name though, but she's funny. Few members of AMC, hola. Lost Days, right on Houston, Danzig, The Misfits, big fan myself. Me too. On C-SPAN, don't know how to spell it. German-ish YouTube show. Kirschgesagt? I'll check spelling, mostly animated. Okay. This is Joe Johnson. Get your passport. Oh, you have a passport, but you're in foreign countries to work the locals. No, I didn't see you deny it there, SS Minnow Johnson. Snickers or Twix? Go. Twix. On C-SPAN, Kirschgesagt in a nutshell. Excellent theoretical science animations, not all theory, some good practical stuff too. 6 or 7 minimum age, but I appreciate it in the 30s and 40s. Okay, cool. Yeah, I made it to the end of the chat there. So, Firearms AMC just got here, so he's asking, are those skeletons holding tacos? Yes. These are skeleton hands holding tacos. That skeleton hand right there, holding a taco. Look at that guy. Holding a taco. And on C-SPAN, knows the lack of denial, too. Peachy Sunday, watching Houston argues with small Nazi fish is one of my favorite entertainments. Also, what 3 countries would you rather live in? I mean, if I had the money, I probably wouldn't mind living in Switzerland. Although, being away from the ocean, I do like being near the ocean. But man, Switzerland is just so nice. I I could probably be convinced to live in a Mediterranean country so long as I was in the parts of the Mediterranean close to the mountains, so I could go skiing easily. I really liked Japan when I was a kid. It was in Okinawa, so it was really humid. I don't enjoy being in really humid environments. Hawaii was too humid for me. My sister in South Carolina, that was way too humid for me. For a little drier, a little more Mediterranean, my weather. Where else? I do have friends that are in like Malaysia and they're loving it. Although Malaysia is hot as hell and humid as well. So I don't know. I do like living in the Northwest. I as long as I got the cash to go skiing in the wintertime, Northwest is perfect for me. Although cedar pollen season, I would love to get out of here during that. Like, you know, if I was in Vancouver, Canada, I was cool. I loved being in Vancouver when I was a kid. I had a great time up there. As I said earlier, San Diego. I really enjoyed San Diego. I don't know. There's a lot of places I need to go travel to and see how much I'd like them. There's a lot of places I need to go. A lot of places around the world that need the Houston experience so I can figure it out. Firearms AMC, I think I want to go to New Zealand. Like, New Zealand seems appealing. They got the mountains and they got the beaches right there. We used to have a couple of New Zealanders pop in here every once in a while. There was was it iScience Becky? Science Me Becky, but she hasn't popped up in a while. After the MMTLP stuff, she was like, I can't watch these videos anymore of people. And then we have NZ someone. I can't remember. But I still haven't been to New Zealand yet. I haven't been to Australia either. I was supposed to go to Australia in 2020 and do a PhD, and then COVID ruined that. So, come to Louisiana, we make humidity for the rest of the world. My little sister's in New Orleans, and I don't know how she does it. I honestly don't. When my sister Rachel, she was stationed in Biloxi with the Navy, and I was in college. She was training for the San Francisco Marathon. So she was training for a marathon, and she called me, and I was in Hawaii, and she called me and just check up, and I asked her how she's doing. She's like, oh, I went running this morning, and I was like, how'd that go? She said, well, it was 7 a.m. It was 91 degrees outside, and there was dew on the ground, and I was like, oh, ew, ugh. I just can't imagine. Like, even Hawaii wasn't that bad. A, it didn't get to 91, and B, you didn't hit like humidity levels where the dew point was above 90 degrees. That's insane. That is so much humidity in the air. Just, ugh. No, thank you. No, thank you. Boom, 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 boom. Crystalline Banana. Houston moon soon? I hope so. I could use it. Benedict, Western Europe is so nice in general. Germany and Austria are amazing. Scotland is fun as well. It's funny. So when I go to Switzerland and I visit my friends, the hotel my friend works at has a bunch of people from all over the world that work at the hotel, from, Australia, Italy, South Africa, whatever. And there's one Austrian girl who works there. And I was like, why do you work here in Austria? She's like, because the minimum wage here is insane in Austria. It sucks. It's like, oh, she's like, doing the same job. I make like 3 times as much money, and I'm still only 2 hours from my house or my home in Austria. And I was like, oh, cool. So, and the hotel they work in gives them a free place to stay, so they save a ton on lodging. But it's very tempting. When I was there in 2020, they were offering me jobs, and I was like, but I'm supposed to go do this PhD. Although I do like it here, how to get monkey butt to Switzerland and all my stuff. And then COVID hit, and that just took everything out. Away today. Come to Louisiana. Oh, that was the one. All right. Few rhymes at AMC. They also have the Shire. Jay Geyser, what 3 words keeps getting blocked by chat US instead of coordinates? Jay Geyser, I have no idea. I don't know why coordinates are blocked. I don't know what 3 words is getting blocked. Talvin 4, greetings Houston, and hello non-birthday knowers. Talvin's just bragging because he's got the calendar with my birthday in it. Piven, like Norway, mountains, fjords, lakes, all that stuff without the dangerous animals. True, I did love Norway a lot. I was jet lagged a lot of time in Norway, so a lot of the really beautiful things I had fallen asleep on trains for, and I get nudged awake to be like, oh look, a glacier. I'd fall asleep again. But away today can have 103% humidity and not rain. Had 30 plus days over 100 degrees last summer, like being wrapped in a wool blanket that was soaked and microwaved. Ew. Just no. That is not. Houston does not. How? Ew. Gross. Blech. The whole reason the South hasn't risen again is just because they're just overheating. Is probably why. Peachy Sunday, that guy Brett, whose article published in NASDAQ Web seems to have a sixth sense. First Republic Bank is down. PacWest is gone. U.S. Bank next. U.S. Bank, Metropolitan Bank, Bank of the West. See this thing over my shoulder right here? See that thing? Right there. That is saying, put a blanket on me, you fool. I know when a dog wants a blanket. There you go. She's happy. Now she's down. She can tell me things telepathically. Talvin 4, ugh, I think I'll stick to Washington weather. Yeah. Blur. No, thank you. That's why they make, they should do Fat Tuesday and Mardi Gras in like August, because then everyone will just be naked. Because why would you want to wear clothes in that kind of weather? Just, okay, everybody. We're close to 2 hour mark. I don't have anything else in the chat. I think I'm at the bottom. If you missed the space call with Drew Diligence, free commercials, I'm going to have that video ready and I'll be posting it soon. So it'll be up. You can hear much more of my biography as time goes on. And I got the pity stains going. Look at that. It's warm today. The upstairs is warm. I don't know why that dog wants to be under a blanket. I think she's quickly learning she doesn't want to be under there, but the cat's going to try and get up there. Hey, kitty. Come here. You want to nestle with the dog. I know you do. You want to cuddle so bad. Lucy, this guy is so much happier being back in California again. Texas was horrible. Yeah. My sister was in Dallas with the Navy all last summer. I was taking care of Snoopy. And she was like, it's 115 degrees every day. It's absolutely just awful. I don't know why people live here. Side W. Houston, ever give a listen to the song Volcano by the President of America? Of course. I've seen the Presidents live 30 times. I've been backstage with all of them. Matter of fact, do I have... Where is... No, these are Soundgarden backstage passes. Where's my, that? Somewhere. I've got backstage passes somewhere for Presidents. I don't know what drawer I put them in. I'll find them. But yeah, of course I've listened to the Presidents. They're a Seattle band. 2 of them, Dave Dieter and Chris Ballou, were my friend Evan's teachers at the Bush Academy, private school here. Yeah, I've met all those dudes. They're fantastic. I love the Presidents. They're awesome. Oh, Jake, guys, are you asking a riddle? What 3 words is an alternative to coordinates? You are here? You are here. That seems to be alternative to coordinates. Did I answer that riddle correctly? But yeah. No website. Oh! What 3 words is a website? Okay. Oops. Not that one. Like what3words.com? Okay. Ah, it's a map thing. Okay. Street addresses don't always point to precise locations. Okay, so what am I doing here? Turn off that. This we were trying to take me to. It's a map thing. So I'm currently in New York, so I can go like this. I can click something. And now what? I clicked on a thing. It made a new thing. I don't know what that means. So if I copy that and I go there and I click that, what does that even do? I don't know. Okay. So I guess we can pop those things in there maybe. I don't know. Might see them as websites and might not work for people. Can we do oh, we can do satellite. There we go. That's how we like to see it. Yes. That's how it should be. Okay. Ah, hello Manhattan, you stinky lady, you. Now see 3 words to find your 3-meter location. Ah, choose those 3 words to describe where you're at. So that's what you're trying to say. Okay, I thought you were just having a stroke earlier, and I was like, I don't know what. All right. So I can can I punch in random words and have it take me somewhere? Will that work? So if I type in oh, what happened? Okay, if I type in happy crown monkey, will that take me somewhere? Oh, take me to Amarillo, Texas. Okay. Joker, hospital, burger. Joker Hospital Burger. Take me there. We have no energy for here. Am I on the ocean? Oh, Joker Hospital Burger is out in the ocean. Okay, South Pacific, not too far from Papua New Guinea. Okay. What a weird system someone set up. All right. Interesting. So you guys can use this What 3 Words website and send me to places instead of coordinates. Noted. Noted. How about right here? What's that one? That's Plant Surrounding Redeemer. If I'm on the Coral Sea, I can be Cooperative Witching Orchestras. If I go next to it, I can be Judgeship Unromantic Toils. Interesting. Interesting. So this is all 3-meter squares are all named across the entire planet. Middle of the Gobi Desert, I'm Rippin' Bleeps Miniskirts. If I am here, and I am in the room, and I am at, let's see here. Come on, give me, why am I not allowed to have satellite imaging anymore? Took away my satellite imaging. Okay, I'll be there in that park. Collect Bolt Blesses. What a weird system. I love it. Okay, Jay, you make sense to me now. Snertlert's here. Hello, Snertlert. Okay. Peachy Sunday supported amuses trouble. Agra? We are... Can I get... There we go. Ah, okay. We're in northern India. I saw this now. Oh, we're at the temple. We're at the Taj Mahal. I saw. There we go. All right. Word. Supported amuses trouble. SS Minnow Johnson should send more 24-year-old ex-Marines to New York City would solve a lot of issues. It's not really solving issues if you're murdering people, SS Minnow Johnson. Like, murdering people doesn't solve issues. That's what Nazis did, was they would kill the undesirables. And that's why I call you a Nazi a lot of times. And you seem to get upset over it. Although I do appreciate it when you donate $1 to the charity streams. That's always appreciated. We'll take your money all day long and help those who need it. But yeah, sending people to go murder those who actually need healthcare, not what we should be doing as a country. I don't know if you guys saw, there was a man who was having issues on the subway. He was ranting. He was having issues. This guy has issues. And another man put him in a chokehold for 15 minutes and killed him. That's not how our society should be working. Our society should be one where, oh my goodness, somebody's having issues. Let's get them the medical or psychological help they need so that they don't have issues. Right? That should be the rational view that we take as society. Not, hey, I'm going to be a vigilante. I'm going to kill this guy. Problem solved. No. That's not what we should be doing as society at all. No. If you're on AMC, glitter bomb confetti, what happens where you put that in? Glitter bomb confetti. Is that a random one? Glitter bomb confetti. Glitter bomb confetti. We're in a farm field. Really nice plowed farm field. King Sago Mole. I really can't tell where we are at all. Where are we? Oh, we're in Sweden. Oh, sorry, Norway. We're outside Oslo. Glitterbomb Confetti is a farm field outside Oslo. There you go. Okay. This is Mel Johnson, the Marine protecting people on the train. The dude wasn't hurting anybody on the train, so he wasn't really protecting anyone there, man. He just killed somebody who needed medical attention. And his solution was to kill the guy, and that is what we consider murder. Nobody was actually in danger. There are crazy people all over New York. It's a large city. You can encounter them much more than you probably do in Oklahoma, just because there's actually people that live there. No, he wasn't helping anyone. He just straight up murdered somebody under the guise of protecting them. But no, he was just a killer. It says Mel Johnson, New York City did not provide the crazy man any help. He was arrested 45 times prior. That's because we don't have national healthcare system, says Minnow Johnson. You just gave an exact example of why we need nationalized healthcare. Because people who are homeless oftentimes suffer from psychosis or drug addiction or PTSD or a number of other things. And if they don't have a job because they don't have health insurance. If they don't have health insurance, they can't get help without health insurance. That's why we nationalize a national system, a universal system of healthcare, so that everyone is covered, no matter who they are, where they are, what their economic level, they get treatment. And by having a nationalized system and getting rid of those 2.2 million administrators that we have, we can actually use that money to build long-term mental health facilities, because we need about one bed for every 300 to 600 people in every community across America, because at any time people can go nuts, right? Like the former mayor was one of the top prosecutors in Oregon. The former mayor of Bend, Oregon, went totally schizo in his 40s and became homeless. Didn't have health insurance and basically died from infections via frostbite from living inside a tent. He was a former mayor of the city and a city council member and a DA. Like, that dude, because he went bibbledy, lost his job at the law firm, couldn't pay his mortgage, was still going nuts, ended up on the street. That is not the system we should have. right? You lose your job, you lose your health insurance, and it was all because of a mental disorder that all you needed was medication. That's it. Just needed medication. A little medication, boom, functioning member of society again. Didn't need some Marine to go choke them out. That's Nazi talk, dude. Just provide healthcare for people. Get them the help they need, and they can become a productive member of society again. That's it. It's so simple. You don't need to kill people. You don't need to do that. You just get them the help they need. That's what we should do. That's why we have a society. It's so that we can help each other navigate this thing called life and make each of our own lives better in the process. Not, that guy's weird, I'm going to kill him for you. That doesn't help anybody. All it does is scar the people who witnessed this man die. Anyone who loved that man, who saw him go down that spiral of psychosis, now he's dead. And they're like, well, my life is now scarred from it. We just need a better system, and the better system is so available. Yeah. Jay Geyser, how come he's skipping mine? Sorry. Well, where's yours, Jay Geyser? I don't see your. Keep putting 3 words. Dot corn. It would delete. Keeps deleting. Put in. Oh, support it. No, that was Peachy Sunday. Jay Geyser, easier remember than coordinates. Put your 3 words in without the dots, and I'll make them work. And maybe that'll work. If you runs AMC, stop caring about other people. Houston, how dare you? How dare you? All right, Jay Geyser, put your 3 words in, and I'll throw them in there. Cy W. Houston, you remind me of one of my friends from uni. Turns out his great-great-grandfather was Commodore Matthew Perry. So he's extended family? Yes. Matthew Perry would have been like a great-great-great-uncle. What was it? William Hazard Perry? His brother was Oliver Hazard Perry. Oliver Hazard Perry was like a great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. On my mom's side, I think it was. And Matthew Perry, who opened Japan, not the actor, Matthew Perry, who opened Japan to the West, was his brother. So he's an uncle in there somewhere. So I'm related to your college friend. That's weird. Snurt, you wrote glitter bomb confetti wrong. I did? How did I? All right, let's go back. Glitter. Oh, I wrote glitter comb. Glitter.bomb.confetti. Did it take me somewhere? You going there? Ah! Glitter.bomb.confetti. Oh, it did comb. Oh, I don't think I typed it wrong. I think the word bomb isn't in here. Yeah, glitter tome, glitter tomb, glitter womb. So that was the thing. I didn't type it in wrong. Is that I don't think they have the word bomb in their database. They want people typing up like dynamite bomb explosion, having it be, the Western Wall or something like that. So I think they left the word bomb out. Jay Geyser, do your house, and because you have many 3 square meter areas in your house, you can use your favorite to say exactly where you are on the whole planet. The words work in other languages, but I haven't tried. I think I've been sitting too long doing space calls and things. I just had a Charlie horse in my leg. That's the Houston, you're over your 2-hour limit. And you were pushing a lawnmower too long today. Ow. Fart. Okay, maybe I'm gonna stand up. Rah. Whew. Sorry, I got Charlie horse, everybody. I'm Charlie horsing right here. Whew. Ow. Oh, okay. Pushing that lawnmower is killing me. I'm old. So get Taco shirt in the camera. Ow. Okay. Can I sit back down? Will it try to horse on me again? Now if I just don't stick my leg out, I don't move, bring that back down. There we go. Okay. Whew. Okay. Shark Attack Houston Wade 2024. I am old enough to run for president. If you guys want to fund my presidential campaign, I'll throw my hat in the ring. Lucy in the Sky, Houston, I found out I'm a descendant of John Ogden, pilgrim who was involved in buying Manhattan from the Indians, and of Thomas Edison. Well, there you go. That's two swindlers you're related to. Bucked Continents Retrial. Okay. Let's throw those in there. Control V. Bam. Bucked.continents.retrial. Scene. Bucked Continents Retrial. No address found. Doesn't say they don't have that, Jay Geyser. So if there is, maybe it's top secret and no address is found. Please try searching for the town nearby place. Zoom in, find what 3-word address. Brad B. Houston, I know you read a ton of news. How do you differentiate between real info news versus misleading articles and propaganda? Well, first of all, there's always a smell test. So sometimes you read something like, that seems quite fantastical. I don't know if I trust that. And I said that sometimes with like legit news articles, and I find out like, no, times are so crazy it's actually happening. But I look at what the website's coming from first, and that will oftentimes tell me if it's a fake news site. Because there's some that purposely do fake news to fool people because they're sickos, and there's ones that do fake news to kind of play a narrative. So I'll look up where the source is coming from. Oftentimes I'll use mediabiasfactcheck.com. They'll tell me how factually accurate the articles are, what part of the political spectrum they're coming from, and they'll kind of inform me what their bias is, and if you know, sometimes they'll report things and I'm like, this seems a little strange the way we're reporting it, and I'll find like the original news article it came from and discover that they're like pulling things out of the article and arranging them in a way that's not quite what happened. But yeah, so it takes being able to search and confirm. And when you do it for a while, you can start to recognize fake news websites right off the bat. They do it a lot on like Twitter and Facebook, where, you know, it's like freedomeagle.America. You know, like that's not a real news site. That is a propaganda page designed to fool boomers, and it's working. So sometimes they make themselves very well known. There's others that do a much more professional job. You might see stuff from like the Brownstone think tank or whatever, and Brownstone think tank is just like an anti-vax website. They try to like make themselves seem like that they're hoity-toity and something real, and they're not. There's a bunch of anti-vaxxers posting propaganda that's not backed by science or anything. Yeah, so that things can happen. Drink more water for your Charlie horse. I'm trying, Lucy. Taking up some salt bath, Charlie horse might help with magnesium. Yeah. Okay. I'm 2 hours 15 minutes in this thing. It's late. It's late. I'm gonna let you guys go. Curfy uninterested boomerang. Okay, maybe one more. maybe Maybe one more of these things. When I start to see like absolute gibberish pop up, maybe that's what Dragon was doing earlier. Was he was just spouting some gibberish for me. Curvy understood booby. Yes, I meant that. We're in a field. We are in a field. We are in a field. We are in Aldea Zamarcara. Where are we? Oh, okay. We're in Brazil. We're way out in Brazil. I don't know why we're here, but those are fun words. Okay. Oh, boomerangs. Put an S in there. Curvy. Control V. Throw an S on there. Curvy understood boomerangs. Oh, god damn it. You bastards. You know, landing choreograph snared. Mirage hair. There's no way I'm going to be able to figure out if you guys are fucking with me or not now. Because there's nothing similar at all about the words used. Like, fulfilled defeats plantations, proceed latches, electing offshore. I am so screwed. I am so screwed. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Take care of each other and have a good one. I'll see you Friday. I have no idea if it'll be daytime or after dark. It's 2 days away. My brain can't think right now. I had to go massage my leg. Wish my hot tub was working. I'd definitely be using that. All right. I will see you folks later. Monkey Butt, do you have anything to add? No. Cat? On the floor, cat? Nothing? All right. Cool. All right, everybody. Have a great night. I will see you Friday. Hand me